Hey everybody, this is Lorelia. I'm doing a Facebook Live tonight. Wanted to discuss two topics. First topic I want to talk about is debt settlement season. So what do I mean by that? I've been getting a lot of emails from individuals saying, hey Lorelia, I got this offer from a debt collector and I'm thinking of paying the debt off. I have the money, and I think I'm going to go ahead and proceed and pay. And, like I always tell people, better be very cautious of the commitments that you make when you say that you are going to pay a debt. Why is that? Normally, by the time people come to me, they've already created these settlements offers, whereas they've got the notice in the mail, they've contacted the creditor who may be the debt collector, and now have agreed that they will pay X amount of dollars per month, per whatever installments or what have you, to pay the debt off. And then they come across my information and they say, oh wow, I think I want to validate the debt, And unfortunately, it's too late. Debt validation will not help you at the point that you have already made some type of agreement with the creditor. And the reason why is because if you notice when you talk on the phone and you call them up, they say you were on a recorded line. They have that whole conversation recorded. So you can't agree to the debt. You can't agree and say, oh, the debt is mine and I want to work out a payment plan to pay you. And then, you come across some information of mine and say, oh, well, now I want to validate the debt. I want you to prove that I own the debt. And that's pretty much what debt validation is. It's not an avoidance strategy. Many people will try to convince you saying that you are avoiding paying your bills. It's not that you are avoiding paying your bills. What it is that it is a show me that you own the debt type of process. Because think about it. The individuals who are contacting you are third-party individuals. So what happens is that a lot of times we do not recognize the companies that are coming to us saying, pay us, or the companies that are harassing us and calling us on a regular basis. We recognize who we originally took the credit out with. That can be an American Express, that can be Discover, a store card, a gas card, or what have you. And those are the individuals we are familiar with. We're not familiar with the third-party individuals. And that is why legally, this is not Lorelia-ism. This is not something that I've created. This is according to the FDCPA. Who is that? That's the Fair Debt Collecting Practices Act. They have decided that you as a consumer have the right to ask them to prove that they own the debt and you can pay them. Because what happens is, and this is how people get caught behind the 8 ball. It's happened to me. You end up agreeing to some type of offer to pay the debt. And what happens is since these debts are resold and sold and packaged and this, that, and the other, the portion that they said that they will settle with you, they will sell that off to another debt buyer or debt collector. And what happens is that now you're being contacted by another company, and then you're saying to yourself, oh, I thought I paid this off. That's why you want to be very clear on the process when you are settling your debts. I've always said to people that most of the information that is being provided online is very plain vanilla. It is very surface information, and so I come from a standpoint of, one, you need to know the nature of the debt that you are settling. Now, the reason why I say the nature of the debt, you need to know what type of debt are you settling. Is this a debt that's no longer, it's not charged off, meaning that the original creditor has the debt? Then whatever you settle with them is totally different than you settling with an account that may be X amount of months or years old that is charged off and now another person has it. See, keep in mind, plain vanilla information. Many people, and you got to know where you start, because everybody's story is not the same in terms of rebuilding your credit, repairing your credit, whatever you have in debt elimination. Many people will give you surface information, and what happens is that you will try to approach the situation based on that information without knowing all the moving parts. Let me give you an example. You have heard many times that people will say that they are eliminating debt. They're trying to get debt free, and it depends on where they're at. That person, and once again, you got to know if that person's story mirrors your situation, because when I was going through that process, I was not trying to eliminate current debts. I was not that person who was $25,000 in debt with credit cards. And what I mean is current revolving debt with credit cards, and I was trying to figure out how to pay that down. Many people will give you a strategy on how to pay it down, but it's current revolving debt. They will not give you the strategy on how it works with debts that are charged off. Totally different animal. You will not approach those debts the same way that you would approach debts that are current, that are revolving. Like I said, it's a total different animal. Two different ways. That's why you must know the nature of the debts. That's why I always tell you, I always put a disclaimer out, because many people that feel like, I'm telling you not to pay your debts. Remember, if you feel like in your heart of hearts, I always put my disclaimer out there that you want to pay your debts, by all means, you go ahead and pay them. But what I'm saying is that you cannot work out a settlement and then say, oh, I came across some good information, and Lorelia, will the debt validation strategy work? Well, no, it will not work. It will not work, because you've already worked something out. So that was the one point that I wanted to talk about. And another thing that I want to talk about is you may see a surge in a lot of settlement offers coming to you in the mail. The reason why is two things that is going on. One is the end of the year. Companies are looking to close out. They're in the fourth quarter, and they're trying to increase profits for their shareholders. And you may be wondering, well, what does that have to do with me? Well, the reason why you want to know what does it have to do with you, because you need to understand that this is a business. There's a big business with debt. And if you are a person who is in debt and don't know how to get out of debt, we're not talking about those individuals who know how to leverage debt to be able to create wealth for themselves or whatever. I'm talking about the person who is plagued by consumer debt. They feel like the noose is on their neck and they cannot break free. Those individuals do not understand that they are caught up in a cycle where there are people who understand their financial problems better than they do. They cycle, the people that own your debts and you are paying, they understand psychologically how you financially handle your own matters. And what that means is that since we are in fourth quarter, the settlement offers are coming. These same individuals will be going to get their taxes prepared in December, and they will be getting early tax refund checks. So what does that mean? Many tax providers still offer you a service, whereas after Christmas, close to the new year, you get your taxes prepared and they will advance you money. See, what happens is with that advancement of money that you get, many people will be in rah-rah season saying they want to get out of debt. These individuals know that that's what you are going to be doing, and they are willing and able to provide you with those settlement offers, so you can now put it to the side and say, oh, I'm ready to get debt free, and I saw this great settlement offer that came into the mail, and I think I'm going to call this company, and I think I am going to try to settle it, because I want to be part of the debt-free club. Nothing wrong with being part of the debt-free club, but what you do need to understand is you need to know the nature of the debt, because you will be caught behind the 8 ball. Because there are some people, and I understand that, they come from the school of thought that if I sign my John Hancocks on something, by all means I'm going to pay it. I get it. I totally get it. But understand, the debts that you pay have nothing to do with raising your credit score. So then the next question I have to ask you as an individual, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to raise your credit score, or do you want to pay debts? Because some people just want to pay debts. They want to know that they created this debt. They know that debt does exist. They signed their John Hancocks on the contractual agreement, and by all means they want to go ahead and pay it. Does not mean it's going to increase your credit score. And understand, that's a whole different animal. That's another part of debt settlement. See, there are so many moving parts when it comes to debt settlement. It's not as very plain vanilla as people want to make it. Find out what debt you owe and work out a plan to settle them. It's not that simple. It's very different moving parts. One, my method is, one, identifying the type of debt that it is. Once you know what type of debt it is, then identify what is your goal. Is your goal to increase your credit score, pay debts, what have you? Once you know if you want to increase your credit score, just pay debts. Okay, if I want to increase my credit score, and I know that these debts are a combination of current revolving debts that need to be paid down, plus a combination of charged off debts, my strategy has to be different. See, that's what I'm saying. There are a lot of moving parts in debt settlement. It's not as crystal clear and dry as many people want to make it. So that is all that I have for debt settlement for today. Like I said, there's so many moving things I could talk about. The next piece that I want to talk about is the piece of getting help. Do you need help? Do you want to get help? Do you want to do it on your own? I am a big advocate of understanding how this process works, understanding why you have been put in that situation. I wouldn't even say how you've gotten put in a situation, how you have allowed yourself to be put into that situation, but then learning from it so you will never fall into the situation again. The reason why I say that, I understand that there are some people who say, you know what, Lorelia, I don't have time to commit to understanding this information, and I want someone to help me. And I get it, And so for those individuals, I always say, contact me, and I will provide you with a source, whereas, someone will assist you with rebuilding your credit and helping you increase your credit score. But then there are them individuals that are similar as me, who said, you know what, I have been violated financially from a debt collector. Many of the people that contact me, their stories mirror mine. They are being harassed by debt collectors. They want to loosen the noose or take the noose off of their neck, so the debt collectors can leave them alone. And then also they don't realize, and just like me, that many of these debt collectors are in violation. And like I said, and once I realized that what debt collectors were doing were illegal and it was a big violation, I had a big aha moment. And so many of the people that contact me, their stories are similar. But this is where our stories are no longer similar, because there are some people who do want to do this whole journey by themselves, and there's nothing wrong with that. But keep in mind that, and I've said this in other videos, your process is going to be a combination of trial and error. There is no way that you think that you can watch a few videos and then feel like you know everything. It's going to be a combination of trial and error. See, when I was on my journey, it was in the 90s. There was no YouTube. You literally had to read a book, try a strategy, try it, send off a letter, see what happens, and that was it. if you didn't do that, you just went to go to a credit repair person and they did the work for you and they taught you nothing. You paid them your money and you just hope to get results. Now we live in the day and time where you can come across information and you as the person have the choice to either say, hey, I am going to get help, or number two, I'm going to travel this road alone and do it myself. And if you decide to take the latter one, whereas I'm going to travel this road alone, understand that you're going to make some mistakes. Understand that you may get yourself in a jam. Why? It's because you have no one who is holding your hand and assisting you. You are doing it by yourself. And I always tell people, why do that when you can get help? And yes, I'm going to piggyback off the debt settlement thing. If you are looking for someone to assist you with, I don't understand the process. What is next after debt validation once I send my first letter? I always tell people, there is a solution that I can help you with, you know. And so I tell people on a weekly basis, I do a oh, I got a question here. Oh, wait. I have a few questions. Okay, Anthony. Okay, Anthony. I'm glad you admitted. So you saying, yes, you need help. So this is it. I have, the thing is that after this is over, I can't see these comments no more. And the way my phone is blocking it off. So, Anthony, what I want you to do is email me at LORILLIA, B as in boy, P as in Peter, at gmail.com. Because right now it's being blocked. It just says Anthony, and it's like a string of numbers. And I can't see the rest. Yeah, it's like half blocked off. So email me after this, Anthony, and then I will connect with you. But as I was saying, I lost my train of thought. The process is going to take longer if you try to do it yourself. And there's going to be some trial and error. And unfortunately, many people don't want to go through the trial and error. And my thing is this, there's a solution for that. For example, with Anthony is admitting that he needs help. And I'm saying, okay, reach out to. So trying to find my pen. Actually, I have a pen right here, I think. Oh, there's no pen here. But I think, Anthony, if I don't, I'm going to try to email you based on the information that I see. Because like I said, my phone, it's like the way it's positioned, it only blocks out half of it. So going back, so then if you don't get an email from me sometime today or tonight, like I said, just reach out to me at LORILLIA, B as in boy, P as Peter, at gmail.com. So like I was saying, so going back to the debt settlement, so you decide that, hey, I'm going to do this my own. You're going to make mistakes. I'm very transparent with people. People will have people to think that they can do it on their own, and you can. But what they will not tell you is that you can make mistakes. There's a very small population can really take this information and don't make no mistakes. Like I said, very small population. I know with me, when I did the journey and I was just reading books, I made a lot of mistakes. Like, I ain't even going to sit here and tell you that I, sent a letter or two, and I sent one letter, and next thing you know, I had an 800-point credit score. Didn't happen that way. It was trial and error. And like I said, this journey started with me back in the 90s. This is not something that, this seems really cool to do, and let me get on YouTube and try to assist people. This is something that I've been doing for a long time. So going back to what I said, but then there's a group of people who realize that, hey, I need some hand holding and I want some help, and that's someone that's like Anthony. And so there you have it. Weekly class that I do on a weekly basis. If you go to my website, www.yourmoneymentor.com, go right under Financial Inner Circle, and there you will learn about the class. It's a weekly private class. It's not on YouTube, and also you gain access to all the other past classes that I did, and it allows you to be able to get a exact strategy on how to get help. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because I have a private Facebook group that anyone can join, and I'll try to put the link under I do this YouTube live. And in the group, I asked the question that what has held you back in 2016 with rebuilding your credit in terms of getting results. I gave 4 responses, but the 2 questions that most people commented on was not sure where to start and being overwhelmed. And I'm going to touch on those 2. Then I'll be done. The first answer that most people answered was don't know where to start. And that is truth. Most people do not know where to start. To just help you tonight, first place you need to start is to actually look at your credit report. The problem that I have is that some people will use a third-party service to look at the credit report. That is not a good start if you are ready to dispute. It's a good start if you want to just keep up with what's going on in your credit. Like, because most of the banks now, they offer that service. I know with the banks that I bank with and the credit unions, they offer some third-party service, and they're great because they're free. And what happens is that they will tell you any new accounts that pop up on your credit report, anything that is derogatory. And so, like I said, it's great as a guide. You do not want to start your disputing based on that. Why? It's because it is limited information. It's a limited scope report. It's a limited scope. So a limited scope report means that they're only going to provide you with limited information. For example, if you needed to know the address or the account number of a particular debt collector, what have you, you may not get it from that report. Number 2, a lot of times it does not mirror everything on the real report. So you will notice that there will be information that is on the real report that may not be on the third-party limited scope report. So going back to where do I start is start with a real credit report, a report of substance. You get it for free once a year, and as you're disputing, you will get up-to-date copies of your report. The only thing the credit bureaus will charge you for is 2 things. One, if you need your credit report score. If you want your credit score from them, they all vary from different agencies. And then number 2, they will charge you for if you have already, like, say, okay, I got a free copy of my credit report in January, and now is say September, and I want another report. I would have to pay for that. Okay, well, just email me, like I said, Anthony, and we'll talk more about that. And so I want another report in September. I have to pay for that report because, like I said, if I only got the report but never did no disputing, they're not going to send me another report. But if I've been disputing since January and I'm, disputing, they're supposed to legally give you. Yeah, exactly. Neil was just saying the paper credit report. I agree. I go by the actual paper. I do my disputes by paper still. Many people like to go the more advanced I would say the new age way in terms of faxing, in terms of sending it electronically. I like old-fashioned paper because if you've seen my videos before when I talked about some of the disputes, one of the very common disputes is that a lot of times you will get information deleted off your report and it may come back, and that is a violation based on if the bureaus did not do what they were supposed to do in a certain period of time. I think the last few videos that I did, I showed you where judgment got removed was placed on back when the report client was able to show the bureau the physical paper of that dispute. So that's it. Don't know where to start. Number two, being overwhelmed. You are right. Many people try to do this with too much free information. Free information, I always say, is an awakening. It is to awaken you. It is not to use as a way to increase your credit score. The reason why, it's too much. It's too much to learn. There was one person who commented in the group and said that they're trying to learn enough information to be able to do something. And I'm gonna tell you, it's too much. Like if you've seen the statutes that are part of the Fair Credit Reporting Act, the Fair Debt Collector Practices Act, lot of information. Lot of information. Is there no way that you're going to learn everything about it? And so that's why I can understand when an individual say, I am overwhelmed, because there's too much information. So that's why I always say you need a guide to help you to be able to say, okay, focus on this part of the law. Like I tell people, I go straight to the law. I'm not going to no other so-called credit person to listen to them. I go to the law. That is how I did it before there was a YouTube, and that is how I will continue to do it. The reason why I bring that up, I get emails all the time where people say, oh, this person is talking about this. I don't concern myself with what other people are teaching, how they're doing it. I know that there are 100 ways to skin a cat, and I know that the way I do it can help. Maybe there are people who teach other ways. I'm not sure. But like I said, my journey started in the 90s, way before YouTube. So I'm not looking at what other people are teaching, what other people are saying. I go by what I do, what the law says, and that is what I leverage. When I'm doing disputes, I'm leveraging the law of the FCRA or the FDCPA to be able to get results. And that's why I always said, if you understand the law, you don't have to be a master of it. You don't have to be a consumer rights attorney of it. You just need to know enough to understand when they are violating you, or whether it's the bureaus, or whether it is the debt collectors or an actual creditor, because you can be violated, and many people do not know that they are being violated, and they kind of go with the flow. I had a lady who emailed me today and said information had got deleted off of her report and that it had got back on there. That could possibly be a violation based on if the credit bureaus did not do what they were supposed to do. Many people do not know that. See, so most people go with the go with the flow. And they feel like, oh, well, I got something deleted, but it got back put on there, and they kind of just deal with it. See, they don't know that that is a violation. See, these are the things that can that will help you to be able to know, so you don't have to be violated financially again. So, like I said, I'm at the 29-minute mark. Like I said, if you want to learn more about the program that I do on a weekly basis, it's called the Financial Inner Circle. There, like I said, I talk about credit. We, we discuss different topics. You tell me what you're working on. I give you a plan and strategy, dispute plan to be able to get help. You go to my website, www.yourmoneymentor.com, and there you will get some help. And also, if you hear little people in the background, they are my children. And because I'm a real person, and I am a woman with a family. So, like I said, I'm a real person, and like I said, that's it. That's all I have, and that is it for tonight, 30 minutes, and I hope this live scope was able to help you. Like I said, if you need to contact me, you can go to, I had to think of my email, LORILLIA, B as in boy, P as in Peter, @gmail.com. Look forward to talking to you all in the next YouTube Live. All right. Talk to you then. Bye-bye.